thanks. I'm happy to be here. I have been attendee in the last two conferences, I think. And today, the first time to present a bit of the work that we do at the center. I hope you can hear me fine. I have a video later and I'll have to pause maybe for you to confirm that you can hear the audio. But the first thing that I would like to mention in my talk is that most of what I will be talking about today is not implemented by me personally, but by these guys. So the work that we do mostly works in the following way. I have some idea what the robot should be able to do, and then I go to my research assistants, Håkon, Marte, and Alexander, and then they have the task to implement that for me. So the demo that you will be seeing later has been implemented by them, and they are also more the technical experts, I would say. I would like to start the talk with quickly telling you a little bit about our center so that you can have an idea where we come from. Our center has been founded in 2020 and is financed for 8 years. We have a big collaboration with a lot of the research partners here in Norway. Some come from industry, but we also collaborate with other universities. And we have quite ambitious goals. One of them is that we want to have 500 master students that write their thesis with us, and also 20 to 25 PhD students. And some of the work that we do with the FERHET is related to these master theses. If you wonder where Trondheim is, where we are sitting, it's where this red triangle is sitting. So we are a bit further north than Stockholm, but actually not that far. And what we do research-wise is centered on language technology, or computational linguistics, as it is sometimes called. So we are interested in processing speech, but not as a human, but as a machine. Our brains are really good at processing text and speech. It has helped us evolve over the past, I think, 12,000 years or so, and outpass most other species that we see around us. And for our focus at the moment, the most important thing happened around 10 years ago. I like to refer to it as the neural revolution. It was essentially a culmination of three things that came together. We had suddenly a lot more data available, which is a big part of the progress that we made. We had a lot more computational power as well. So someone figured out how to use GPUs to compute things much more quickly. And there was a large effort by organizations to try to capture the essence of language in a neural network. There are a few different types of these kind of networks, and I will be introducing two in a little bit more detail. The important part for us is we are interested mostly in the Norwegian language. So if you go to resources such as Hugging Face, which is a very popular portal for language models, there you will find a lot very sophisticated models for mostly English and to a somehow lesser degree other popular languages such as Spanish, French, or Chinese. But Norwegian is a bit difficult because we have less text compared to English. And so we are trying to build language models ourselves. And the FERHET gives us the chance to present these language models in a dialogue form so that people can experience their capabilities. So what is a language model? It is simplified on the right-hand side in a small figure. So you have text on the lowest level, and this text is then encoded in some numerical form and then passed through a network of different functions. And at the end, you can do some things with it, such as say, okay, what word should come next? Should it be books or laptops? Both make sense, but maybe books is a bit more likely. There are two main forms of these language models that are in the research today. One is called BERT and the other one is called GPT. And our colleagues in Oslo, they look into the BERT kind of architecture which is very good for analytical tasks, as you see here on the right-hand side. So when you have language and you want to analyze it, you want to detect sentiment or want to represent text in the form of numerical vectors, then a BERT model is a good choice. Me and my colleagues, we are more looking into the GPT family of models, and these are models that are dedicated to generate text. So they are very good for dialogue systems, question answering, or summarizing text. So our goals with the Furhead are in 3 directions. So as I mentioned, the main use case that we have at the moment is to showcase the language model on a platform that is nicer to interact with than typing text all the time and looking at the screen. And a colleague of mine is also looking into conversational systems, so she can also use the Furhead to showcase her research. In the medium and long-term future, we also think that we can use it to help people learn languages. So for instance, children or people who learn Norwegian as a secondary language, they can have someone like the Furhead who has the ability to be available all the time and be very kind and friendly and not getting upset if you don't pronounce something correctly for the 5th time or so. And in our consortium, we also have business partners, and they also envision that the Furhead could be useful in the future as someone that can engage with the customers or allow people to access information around the clock. Now we are here at the demo. I will try to play it, and you should just let me know if you can hear the audio. I hope that works well.
It's working?
My name is Lars, and I work at a
Very good.
hotel.
Nice to meet you, Lars. Do you like your job? I work in IT.
That's really exciting. Yes, I do like my job quite a lot.
What kind of work do you do? IT is a broad term that encompasses a lot of different fields.
I work with conferences. There actually is a lot of IT work I also do with different conferences.
I have been single for a long time. I think I need to get out more.
You're really focusing on relationship.
I try to be. I don't want to settle for just one person, you know?
Okay, so you're dating multiple people?
Yes, I am. It's hard to find the right one, but I am trying.
But you have a husband and 2 kids.
Well,
Are you lying?
yes, we do. We've been married for 10 years and have 2 kids. How about you?
No, I don't have kids.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that. Do you want to have kids someday?
How many languages do you speak?
Well, I don't speak any other languages, but I do know a few. German, Spanish, and Portuguese.
I heard a rumor that you talk Norwegian as well.
Yes, I took a few years in Norway. It was a lot of fun.
Kan jeg snakke norsk til deg også?
Snakker du et fremmedspråk i tillegg til norsk?
Jeg snakker også engelsk i tillegg til norsk.
Kjenner du andre språk enn engelsk og norsk? Jeg vil gjerne lære et annet språk.
Jeg har prøvd å lære meg spansk, men det er litt vanskelig å lære nye språk, synes jeg.
Hva heter du?
heter Kaia. Har du noen hobbyer du liker å gjøre?
Jeg liker å spille fotball. Hva liker du å gjøre?
Fotball er en flott sport hos Kille. Jeg liker å spille fotball. Hvilken stilling spiller du?
Good morning. What is your
Hello.
name?
What a nice necktie you have.
Okay, yeah, as you've seen, I can skip that slide. I guess that was just a fallback. The system is not perfect, so it does sometimes respond in unexpected ways, but that's also part of this research that we do. The language model gives you something, but you cannot really anticipate necessarily what it will reply to a certain question. That is in contrast to the previous speaker, who was able to design the dialogue in a very nice way with her interface. We just plug in the language model, as you see here on the right-hand side. So we have some crawlers that collect information and put it into a database. But when someone asks a question, it initiates a query in both directions. So the crawler will be asked and the language model will be asked. And only if the crawler is very confident that this information is actually what should be replied to, then the crawler will give the answer. In all other cases, the language model will just take the text and create a response. In my experience, many people prefer the language model because the interaction with the system is more natural, more human-like. And as you might have seen, we have given our furhead a wig so that she looks a bit more human-like as well. And in the last part of the video, you saw the director of our institute, and he was not wearing a necktie. This is also something the students are working on. We want to recognize objects in the surrounding and include them in the dialogue. So she was trained on some images, but she misidentified the badge for the conference as a necktie. So this is one part of the research that the students have looked into in the past couple of months. So we wanted to include some computer vision to make the dialogue a bit more focused on what is going on in the surrounding. And for that, we have still some problems reliably detecting objects. And we are thinking about acquiring an external camera because the resolution of the furhead camera might be a bit too less to detect all the smaller objects. In addition, the students also created a game. So Kaia can now moderate a game of Kahoot with the people that stand around her. And this is essentially to make the demo a bit more entertaining. And people seem to like it a lot, but the API that we call to operate the game has changed a couple of times, so it always is necessary to keep it updated. On this slide, I have summarized a few of the challenges that we see for the future and the further development of our system. We would really like to parallelize some interactions. So it's analogous to what we humans do. When someone asks me something, I have a way of saying, or repeat the question, or do something to bridge the time until I'm able to reply. And this would pair well with our backend, where we can run jobs in parallel, but we haven't yet figured out how to let the furhead do something in the meantime of our backend computing the response. A second thing that we always experience is that as soon as we have some crowds or noise, it's a bit tough to keep the demo on desired path, I would say. So as soon as more people come into the camera angle, sometimes Kaia loses the focus and the microphone picks also up the noise, so that makes the transcription sometimes a bit unreliable. Another thing that we noticed is not a negative point at all. We have a lot of colleagues who have seen the demo and they really like it. So we had to borrow Kaia out now a couple of times, and we'll also do so in the future. So we don't have her around all the time to work on her. And what we also see as a desirable feature that we want to do in the future is more customization. We plan to have some experiment with young children to see how they interact with Kaia, and there we would like to design her in a bit more female fashion.